against the LA Clippers after a ridiculous ending to the game. They looked down and out most of the game. I can't even believe they came back and won that one. There's a lot of things I want to say. I want to hear from you on the Discord. We're going to talk about how Maxey ended up with 39 after struggling. We're going to talk about James Harden choking. We're going to talk about the final play. Was it a foul? Was it not a foul? And anything else you want to talk about and get in on the Discord. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Call me on the Discord. Let's go.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you got to keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else should touch the ball right here. He shoots it from the logo. Oh, we're going overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome back to Sixers Postgame Live on Run It Back Philly, presented to you by Bright Medical Technology. Before I get into everything I want to say, these shows are brought to you by our friends at Bright Medical Technology of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Sixers finished the job tonight. If you, as a man, have been struggling to finish the job, you need to call Bright Medical. Bright Medical offers generic Viagra, Sildenafil, and Cialis Tadalafil 30 tablets for $40 delivered to your door. This is the lowest cost in the area. All you need to do is call 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337. When you call, mention Run It Back Philly, you'll get 10% off your first month's supply. I'm literally helping you. You know. Bright Med solution for patients from all ages, infants to seniors. Family-owned business right in the heart of Philadelphia, PA. And they are Sixers sickos. Bright Medical takes all calls in-house. No automated call system. Speaks 9 languages. The Sixers got it done tonight. And you can get it done too by calling Bright Medical. Thank you to Bright Medical Technology for sponsoring the channel. Let's get down to business. Let's first talk about the end of the game. All right. The Sixers are up by 4 with 15 seconds left. 99 games out of 100 are over right there. But it is the Philadelphia 76ers. And they find a way in 15 seconds to let the Clippers end up with a game-winning attempt. Tyrese Maxey had the ball on the right wing 15 seconds to go in the game. There was like 6 on the shot clock or something. I thought they were just going to run it down and get off a shot. Then even if you miss, it hits the rim. More time runs off the clock. Instead, Tyrese tries to hit Grimes in a deep corner, and Harden just steals the ball. So turn the ball over with 15 seconds left. Up by 4. And then on the inbound, Maxey has the ball in his hands, hits it off of Nicholas Batum's leg. It was called a foul. It was challenged. Game. He had so many runs in this game when the Sixers offense was struggling again, when we don't run any sets, when we're just playing YMCA pickup ball. I'm telling you, Nick Nurse is a Tyrese Maxey merchant. He has no plan whatsoever. And Tyrese Maxey bailed him out so many times in his game by just creating shots out of nowhere like Tyrese Maxey can do. But I don't know what it is about the Sixers, man. It's always been like this, at least the last couple of years, I feel like. You can just feel like this game should be over. We should have a nice, easy, comfortable ending. And the Sixers always find a way to make it dramatic. They always find a way to make it dramatic. Turn the ball over 2 times in the last 15 seconds and let the Clippers get off a final bucket, a final shot attempt. And it's James Harden, by the way, who gets the final shot. For those listening on podcast platforms or watching on YouTube and didn't watch the game, James Harden got a 3-point attempt off in the final seconds. Threw his arms up, kicked his legs out. Did the James Harden thing, right? They didn't call a foul. They actually got an offensive rebound. He got it back in the right corner again with no time on the clock and missed another one. But upon replay, it appeared that Quentin Grimes did foul James Harden on that first 3-point attempt. But here's what I want to say. This is karma, James Harden. That's what this is. Because when you spend your entire career flailing your arms, kicking your legs out, and yelling at officials, they're tired of it, bro. And they don't want to call it. The last thing the NBA wants is a game ending on 3 James Harden free throws by him flopping and it not be a foul, right? And the reason they don't want to call it is because you did that your whole career. So now you're at a point where the referees can't actually tell if it was a foul or a flop because you're flopping so hard. That's karma, James Harden. Because upon further review, you did get fouled. But because you made a career flailing your arms and kicking your legs out and screaming at officials, you didn't get the call. And I may be happier than maybe anyone on the earth that you didn't get the call. Not just because it led to a Sixers victory, but because I love to see you lose, James. I just wanted to say that. Quentin Grimes played great defense on James Harden in the second half of this game. James Harden had 17 in the first quarter. And a lot of that was when Justin Edwards came in the game for Paul George. So Paul George was on a minutes restriction, I think. I mean, he went out in the first 5 minutes of the game. And the Clippers starters were still out there. And we go Justin Edwards on James Harden ISO ball. And James was cooking Justin Edwards damn near every time down the floor. And Edwards was not moving his feet. There was a play where James just ran straight past him like he was a parked car. And I'm like, bro, this is the slow version of James Harden, and you're getting destroyed. And I said at halftime, is Nick Nurse going to adjust? Because he left Justin Edwards out there on an island the whole first half. Now, Harden didn't have a great second quarter, but that entire first quarter, he scored 17 points. A lot of it was on Justin Edwards being on an island. And Nick Nurse adjusted. And I was thinking at halftime, I was like, who's the 76ers like lockdown perimeter defender that we can put on James Harden to stop him from what he's doing? Quentin Grimes. There you go. And the whole fourth quarter was James Harden trying to ISO Quentin Grimes, and Grimes just played great defense damn near every single possession. And the fourth quarter, a lot of those final possessions where we were trying to get the ball out of James Harden's hands, you know, one of the possessions we were up to, I believe, maybe only one, and ended up being a Kobe Sanders three-point attempt because we forced the ball out of James Harden's hands because we have Grimes and VJ trapping him in the corner. The combination of Grimes and VJ trapping James Harden was a secret weapon also, forcing, you know, the rookie Kobe Sanders to get a tough three-point attempt off. So we forced the ball out of Harden's hands in the fourth quarter a lot of times. Grimes played great ISO defense on Harden. A lot of drives by Harden where he just blew the layup and yelled at the refs for a foul, and they weren't giving it to him. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. I get to celebrate a Sixers victory, and I get to celebrate James Harden flopping and not getting the call at the end. I love that. I think my second take for this game is that Maxey started the game slow, right? And the Sixers offense looked so bad for 3 quarters. Maybe it just looked bad the whole game. I don't want to act like this is some kind of miraculous victory because the Clippers are 4-9. They're playing without Bradley Beal and Kawhi Leonard and Derek Jones Jr. Sixers playing without Embiid. So maybe the Clippers just ended up stinking it up more than the Sixers did in the fourth quarter. Maybe the Sixers offense never actually came around and they actually don't have a good offense. It's a fair argument because most of this game just stand around YMCA ball. And I don't understand Nick Nurse's strategy offensively. I really do not understand it. But what Maxey was doing in the first half was forcing up some very difficult shots for no reason. You know, a lot of tough, deep fadeaways and things like that. Whereas in the second half, you know, if you're going to create something out of nothing and those shots aren't falling, what do? You get downhill, you start to attack the paint, you start to create contact, you start to go to the free throw line. And that's exactly what Tyrese Maxey did in the second half, and he worked his way all the way up to a 39-point game. And really, in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, Sixers stand around YMCA ball was bailed out by Tyrese Maxey time and time and time again. Just ISO ball, either getting a bump and run or having a tough finish in the lane. The one splitting defenders up and under on the other side of the rim. Then some fadeaway jumpers. There was a play where they brought Maxey off ball, which I loved, that happened in the first half when they were actually running plays, where Maxey came off a screen at the top of the key and got downhill for an Iverson-esque baseline fadeaway jumper. But they just don't run those Maxey off-ball plays enough because they don't have a point guard. And then Maxey in the fourth quarter, a deep 30-foot three from the Xfinity logo behind an Andre Drummond screen was just ridiculous. So Maxey had a tough shooting night, but at the end of the day, he's the reason the 76ers won this game. Once again, he's still, I believe, leading the NBA in scoring. Another 30-plus point game, almost 40 in this one, and drags us to victory in the fourth quarter. I still think the Sixers offense looks terrible, and Maxey is bailing us out. I don't think that's sustainable. I think they need more of a system, but it just doesn't seem like you're going to get more of a system from Nick Nurse. So there's that. What else do I got, bro? Paul George. Paul George returns. Should we talk about Paul George? Paul George returns, man. I think Paul George looked really good. His shot wasn't falling, but he hasn't played basketball for a while. Let's go to the stat sheet and look at Paul George. His shot wasn't falling, but I think Paul George looks healthier than he looked all last season. And this is what I said on my video earlier about the injury report. And we might get the Paul George that we signed up for. He seems like he's finally fully healthy. He had the hyperextended knee in the preseason last year, and it really affected him the whole season. And even when he was healthy, it affected his mental. It affected him attacking the rim and things like that. I think Paul George finally looks healthy. And there you see he was 2 for 9. He was 1 for 4 from 3. He was a -9. He didn't at 22% from the field. The ball wouldn't go in. It's been a while since he played a full 5-on-5 game. But I'm just happy that Paul George looks healthy. And there was a couple of drives where he attacked the rim, I think, more confidently than he attacked the rim all last season. So I'm happy to see that version of Paul George. And a drive where he does a Euro step and really plants hard on the left leg and had no issues, So it looks like his left knee is fully healed and is strong, and he can play the game the way he wants to play it. Hopefully he stays healthy, knock on wood. But happy to see that Paul George is healthy. And now, if they sit him out next game, I'm going to be mad because as healthy as he looks, I don't see a reason for Paul George to not play every game. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to do Paul George is out, left knee injury management, no back-to-back, then Joel Embiid comes back, and then, we get the whole roster on the floor like 3 times all season, probably, if I had to guess. Quentin Grimes finished with 19, and Quentin Grimes had that run in the fourth quarter. Aside from Maxey bailing us out, Quentin Grimes really bailed us out too. He had a couple of tough buckets in the fourth quarter and a 3 from the left wing that was he was just feeling it at that point, and Maxey got the ball to him, defender right in his face. I think it was Kobe Sanders. I keep forgetting that kid's name, Kobe Sanders. I think it was Kobe Sanders again, and Grimes just drills a 3 right there. So Grimes came up big in the fourth quarter, not turning the ball over every time he touched it. That's nice to see. He had a couple nice assists in crunch time. Sixers had a play where they passed the ball around. I think every player on the floor touched the ball, and that one started with Grimes also. VJ Edgecombe, 14, 6, and 6. VJ was quiet a lot of the game, but came up big in big moments. Again, his defense on Harden with Grimes, the traps at half court, I thought was great. VJ hit a huge 3 in the fourth quarter again when the shot clock's running down with nothing going on. Something about VJ Edgecombe that when he puts up a shot and it really matters and it's crunch time, it's money. I think he really does have a clutch gene. I think VJ Edgecombe really does have a clutch gene, man, because this is not the first time, he's gotten a fourth quarter 3-point attempt that's like, if this goes in, it's huge, and he hits it. So I want to shout out VJ Edgecombe being clutch for a rookie, He's not doing what he did in that Boston Celtics game, the first game of the season, but still 14-6-6, good defense. Had a nice two-handed dunk off of a cut down the lane from, I think that was also a Grimes assist. But hit a really big clutch three. Something about VJ Edgecombe, it tells me that he just has that. He doesn't waver when the moment is bigger. You know, he doesn't get nervous. He doesn't shake when the moment is bigger. He almost locks in more when the moment is bigger. So shout out to VJ for the three. Drummond, 14 points and 18 rebounds. I guess I got to commend Andre Drummond in this game. He had a block on James Harden in either the third or the fourth quarter that I thought was pretty big. They don't give him credit for that. He has no blocks here, but I'm pretty sure I saw a block. Maybe they gave the credit to another player, or it was like blocking a pass or something. But 18 rebounds and 5 offensive rebounds. We needed that desperately in this game from Andre Drummond because the Clippers were destroying us on the rebounds in the first half of the game. And I was like, bro, if we don't have a Dembona, not that a Dembona is a good rebounder. We don't have Joel Embiid, not that Joel Embiid's a good rebounder. But Zubac, Brook Lopez, John Collins, I was like, we're going to get murdered on the boards in this game, especially if Nick Nurse puts Janai Broom in the game. Now, there was a lot of Janai Broom fans that thought Janai Broom was going to get in the game. He didn't get in the game. I told you. Anyway, Andre Drummond saved us from the rebound deficit by having 18 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, and even the rookie Kobe Sanders had a big offensive rebound there late, and the foul was called on Andre Drummond that really would have changed the outcome of the game, and then Nick Nurse challenged it. Shout out to Nick Nurse for challenging a call and winning it. Didn't see that coming. Turns out Drummond was pushed in the back by Brook Lopez or Zubac. Don't remember who. But the Sixers come up with a win. Listen, man, at the end of the day, the Clippers aren't good right now. They're playing without a lot of guys. They're 4-9. But the Sixers aren't good right now either. They've been losing to teams they shouldn't lose to. They've been running no offense. They've been playing very bad defense. So, a battle of two bad teams playing bad and the Sixers come out on top, I guess I'm not mad about it. I don't know if it really says anything about them in the long run, but I'm happy they pulled out the win, and I'm happy James Harden missed the final shot and flopped and yelled at the refs and didn't get his way. That makes me very happy. The last player I want to talk about is Jared McCain. I think Nick Nurse is a moron. I think Nick Nurse is a dipshit. I think he's a dumbass. I really do. Because I don't know how you have Jared McCain on your team. And if you watched his G League games, which, yeah, I'm a real sicko. I watched his G League games. He played 2 games for the Delaware Bluecoats in the G League. Guess what happened every time Jared McCain was on the floor? He was running point. He was running the offense because he's a point guard. He legitimately plays the game like a point guard. He has point guard instincts. He runs pick and roll. He facilitates the offense. You're telling me the coach of the G League team? Who even is that? You're telling me the coach of the G League team understands that? And Nick Nurse puts him on the floor with no plan, no strategy whatsoever. Just go out there, stand in the corner. Good luck if you get the ball in your hands or not. And we run this YMCA pickup game. And there's no strategy. I'm like, give the ball to Jared McCain and run a pick and roll, dude. How does Nick Nurse not understand that? How does Nurse not understand that you desperately need a backup point guard and Jared McCain's the only guy? And every time Maxey's off the floor, there's no offense. Nobody's doing anything. And he's not using Jared McCain the way that he should use him. Just wanted to say that also. I'm going to go over to the Discord and take your calls. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to call me and give your takes, I would encourage you to do so. Here's the rules. Call with a take or a question. We want to keep the show moving. We want to keep it kind of quick. You know what I mean? So don't call the show and start rambling and put everybody to sleep. Call the show with a take or a question, and we'll keep it moving. And then we'll just hang out, and we'll after that, we will go over to the Twitter to read the Sixers reporters' takes also. before we get out of here. Before we get into that, do me a favor one time. Subscribe to this channel if you're brand new. That would be very much appreciated. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. Hit the like button one time. We give you these shows for free after every single Sixers game. All I ask is that you hit that little thumbs up. And listen to us on podcast platforms on your way to work in the morning. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're doing almost 20,000 downloads a month over there, so thank you so much for the support. On the audio side of things, we got Taunchy in the Discord. Taunchy, what's going on over in the Discord? Yo, Taunchy, what's going on?
Hello.
Yo, what's going on, man?
It was a tough game, but we got the win. And the point is, we just need to continue winning the games. But the thing that worries me a little bit is the first quarter. We gave away 33 points, which is a lot. In the last few games, we usually give away a lot of points. First, I think we need to improve that.
Yo, Taunchy, I'm having trouble hearing you, man. You got to call back, bro. I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know what's going on there, but thank you for the call, Taunchy. I honestly have no idea what you just said, man. I don't know why I'm having trouble hearing you there, but call back when your audio is a little better. Thank you so much for the call. We got Maxman on the Discord. Maxman, what's going on?
How you doing, Eastwood?
Doing good, man. What's up?
I just, I didn't watch the first quarter of this game because I was at basketball practice, but dude, this Nick Nurse, bro, I could run a better offense than Nick Nurse, right? You could run a better offense than Nick Nurse.
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
I like some of this. I like some of this defense that we're seeing from Grimes. Paul George did well defensively. But dude, you can't just have if Maxey is not scoring at least 20, you're not winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's one of the issues. If Maxey's not scoring 35, you have a low chance of winning.
No, that's it. Yeah, you're 100% right about that. You're 100% right.
And if we go against teams like the OKC Thunder, they're just we're gonna score 30 points by halftime.
Yeah. Yeah, when you play a team that can really defend, you're going to struggle to score at all if you're running this game like this.
And you were talking about Jared McCain.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jared McCain could be used well, for ball movement, stuff like that, pick and rolls, running plays.
Yep.
But Nick Nurse, he just kind of
yeah, he doesn't do much of anything, man.
I'm just gonna put a lineup out there. I'm just gonna put a lineup out there.
Max, I gotta keep you under 2 minutes, man. Thank you so much for calling. As always, bro, I appreciate you. Shout out to Max Man on the Discord. Yeah, I totally agree that Tyrese has to score 35 for the Sixers to win. It's a really good point by Max Man in the Discord because if Maxey can't have a game where he's scoring 20 or 23, Sixers are losing, and it is because there's not a whole lot of strategy. And you see it. You see it so many times in this game. The Sixers standing around the perimeter, ISO ball, and Maxey's bailing them out by creating shots out of nothing. But it's not sustainable, bro. To me, that is not sustainable. And we'll see when they play better teams than this Clippers team, what they look like. Do they get Joel Embiid back? I think Paul George will help this a lot. I do think Paul George will help this a lot. And you could see that from the very start of this game, that it looked like Maxey finally had a second option. When he could give the ball to Paul George and Paul George can create something. Now Paul George on a minutes restriction or whatever it was, he goes out of the game after 5 minutes. But Paul George scored a quick 5 the first couple of minutes of the game, and it looked like, wow, it looks so much different when Tyrese Maxey has another guy on the floor that can do something. So that was nice to see. But it's still, I just feel like, when you play a good defensive team, you're going to have trouble scoring any points at all when your offense for most of the game is just the whole team's just standing around. I don't understand it, man. And I was calling it on the live stream. I was like, bro, look at the Clippers offense. Look how much action there is. It's a Harden pick and roll. It's screens go. It's backdoor cuts. It's guys coming off pin down screens on the other side. There's options. It's like, you give the guy with the ball options. Not just here's the ball, go figure it out. It just feels like that's what it is every night. Here's the ball, go figure it out. I don't understand it. But I got to get over it, man. And I'm going to celebrate a Sixers win tonight. The Clippers are not good, so that helps. And Tyrese Maxey bailed us out 100 times in the third quarter and the fourth quarter in those ISO situations. But yeah, I agree that, I agree that Nick Nurse's offense it is a problem. It is a problem, man. Nick Nurse thinks coaching is just yelling and looking mad. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand. I don't feel like he coaches at all. I think he just yells at the refs the whole game. I really do think that. Real question, has anyone actually seen Nurse pull a clipboard out and go in on... Yo, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Void Meme said, real question, has anyone actually seen Nurse pull a clipboard out and go in on running a play? No, I don't think I've ever seen it. And I was watching a game last night, the Houston Rockets versus, who were they playing? It went to overtime or it went to double overtime? And they ran a play in that fourth quarter where Alperen Şengün set a screen underneath the basket for Kevin Durant, but it was a decoy because they knew the defense was going to focus on Durant. So Şengün sets a screen for Durant and just turns, and they inbound the ball directly to Şengün, and he turns around with a hook shot to tie the game. And I was like, Nick Nurse would never run a play like that. Anytime the Sixers are in a situation like that, it's just Maxey. You inbound the ball to Maxey and you hope he does something. And, and that's why I still think it's unfair to talk about Tyrese Maxey's poor shot selection or anything, because Nick Nurse's offense is give the ball to Maxey and hope he does something. And a lot of times that's going to turn into some bad shot attempts. But, they won the game despite Nick Nurse's offense on the back of Tyrese Maxey. Yo, we got Decent on the Discord. Decent, what's going on?
Oh, can you?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Oh, my fault. All right, hold on, let me turn it up. Am I too loud?
No, you're good, man. What's up?
Eastwood, what's going on, my brother? It's been a while.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Yo. All right, so this game, of course, as fans, we go into a complete heart attack as usual.
Yeah.
Because the game never finishes the way we want it to.
Facts.
But I really love Maxey's poise this year. He's been amazing at just taking over games when he needs to.
Yeah, he has. Absolutely. I think that's something that he's worked on every offseason. He works on something. I think that's definitely something he went into the offseason like, it's my time to be a leader. It's my time to be finishing games in the fourth quarter,
And what's compelling about this is that, he's like in this same time frame like last year where it just felt like, all right, I got to do everything. Because, the players that are around him right now, it's not enough help for him. But I do love the rookie. The rookie is starting to understand where he's needed in his role. And I think that's cool.
Another guy that Nurse is asking to just run ISOs. Like, there's no plays run for VJ Edgecombe. He's just like, if you get the ball and you happen to create something, good for you. Like, that's what.
Yes. That's my concern. I think that's going to drive the fan base crazy, and it's going to drive Nurse out of Philadelphia because, you could just watch this team, and you could tell, there's no scheme. It's just go out there and let Maxey operate and hopefully get open.
Yeah, and I don't get it. And that's what we saw all last season, and everybody. That's what we saw all last season. And everybody thought, well, they're tanking. Well, they're tanking, so it doesn't matter. That's why they're not doing anything, and they're trying to lose. I'm like, I don't think they're trying to lose. I think this is for real because Nick Nurse is mad the whole game. He can't figure out why they keep losing.
Yep.
And now the next season, here we are, he's doing the same thing.
Like you said, he's looking to the refs every time, trying to get an answer. Like, oh, guys, can I get a call or anything like that? Well, Maxey's getting the calls now. So when the team underperforms under your ideals and your strategy, what will be your excuse now? There is none.
Right, exactly. Yo, man, you got anything else for me, man? Thanks for calling the show, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. And shouts out, go Sixers. Hope you guys. I think the next 7 out of 5 out of 7 games. We have a very good shot to actually turn the tide, especially if we get Embiid back. I like our chances.
It's a big if, man. Thanks for calling the show, brother. Have a good night.
No problem, East.
Yeah, man. Take it easy. Shout out to Decent on the Discord. Yeah, man. I agree with everything he said. And again, VJ, I like that he brought up VJ because, a rookie shouldn't have to go out there and just ISO ball. A rookie shouldn't have to go out there and be like, I got to create for myself or nothing, There's no, run him off a screen, get him going downhill. His athleticism is incredible, and he has to score all of his points in ISO situations because Nick Nurse just doesn't run an offense. I don't understand why. A couple of times this game, they ran set plays. And I don't understand why they don't do it more. A couple of times they ran set plays and it really looked good a couple of times. And then we'll go 12 straight minutes with just stand around ISO ball, and I don't understand why they don't run sets more. But it's probably because they don't really have a point guard, and Nick Nurse hates Jared McCain, man. I don't know why he hates Jared McCain. We'll go over to the Twitter reporters. If anybody else wants to get in on the Discord, click the link at the top of the chat. Come on in. Call me on the Discord. Nick Nurse had some comments on VJ Edgecombe, I believe, here in this post-game segment right here. Let's listen to this. Wait a minute. Producer, you're fired. You knew I was going to say that. There we go.
Last couple. VJ made some big plays for you guys in the fourth quarter. I guess what did you just kind of make all of his overall night and just the maturity that he continues to kind of show throughout the early part of the season?
I had a real up and down emotional night with him. I thought he was out of a lot of plays. I got on him pretty good at halftime. I thought he was being unassertive. He had the lanes to drive and wasn't taking them. And when he did, he took them slowly. But he made some huge plays down the stretch. Ran down a long rebound, hit a big three, played some great D. He made some plays that I'm not sure anybody else we got can make. All right, so that's huge for him to hang in there, take a little stern coaching, and keep on playing and make some plays at the end.
I do like that about Nick Nurse. I've said that plenty of times, that he's not afraid to hold a player accountable. He's not afraid to call a player out. He's not afraid to be stern. I think that is where he differs from Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers just felt to me like a player's coach. He was buddy-buddy with everybody. He wouldn't even tell Ben Simmons to shoot the ball when the whole world was like, bro, why won't he shoot the ball? And Nick Nurse would have told Ben Simmons to shoot the ball from day one. That is something about him that is much different than Doc Rivers, and I like that because VJ needs that. VJ needs that. Tell him he's not being assertive enough. Tell him he had a lane to drive and he didn't take it. And call him out publicly in the press conference like this to make sure he hears it again. And that's just going to make VJ want to be more assertive and do what Nurse is saying, in this clip. So I really like that. I really like that Nick isn't afraid to say that and isn't afraid to say it publicly because VJ, he's going to be an incredible player. He's young, but he needs to believe in himself, man. He does. Nick Nurse on Jared McCain's 5 minutes. Pretty hard to judge, Nick Nurse says. I didn't love the combination I threw him in there with. Nurse says he considered going McCain in the second half, but ended up riding Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes for much of the rest of the way. This is tough, man. It's tough because I think Jared McCain is a good point guard, and I think the Sixers need him at point guard. But when Grimes is actually having a good game, then I do understand that call. There's the 2 games ago, Grimes had so many bad turnovers. Then I was like, where the hell's Jared McCain? And he just wouldn't bring him in the game. I think it's fine when Grimes is having a good game and you want to keep, riding that lineup and VJ's performing. Then you do run into this problem that the Sixers have of having too many guards, right? Because now what? Is this going to go all season? What happens when Jared McCain's fully healthy? Is he going to be a healthy scratch because somebody else is having a good game? Jared McCain's too good for that. And then what? Does Daryl Morey do something crazy at the trade deadline? Do the Sixers end up trading Jared McCain because they have too many guards and there's no spot for him? And you could use him to get back something that you need to make a run for the playoffs? I wouldn't do that because Grimes is going to walk at the end of the season anyway. And I think Jared McCain, what he showed last year is untradeable. But I'm kind of having that fear lately because, especially now that Nick Nurse said that, McCain's healthy and he's not getting any minutes because we got too many guards. Is that what's going on, man? What else we got on the Twitter takes, man? The Clippers' last field goal outside of the paint came with 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. They scored in the paint the last 7 minutes. A lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of size advantages. Brook Lopez, John Collins, Zubac. You knew that was going to be a thing because the 76ers were coming into it with no Joel Embiid, no Adem Bona. Sixers win. They made it far more difficult than it should have been. They were 8-5. The Clippers trading Norman Powell because they had Bradley Beal in the bag has that team very hamstrung. I don't think the Sixers made it more difficult than it should have been because I don't think this Sixers team is a whole lot better than the Clippers are. I think that's what you saw tonight. Why do we all always talk about the Sixers like there's some kind of like we should beat everybody? When did that start? It's just how I feel about it. I thought it was a mid-off. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was 2 bad teams struggling to score. And Tyrese Maxey ended up just being better than everybody on the floor by the end of it. James Harden is a shell of himself because he's old and 20 pounds overweight. So the protege takes out the sensei in this game. Tyrese Maxey over James Harden. Let's do a little Q&A to end this one out, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Thank you for calling the Discord. Let's do a little Q&A in the chat to end the show. And then we'll get out of here. Anything, man. A question about the Sixers. A question about the rest of the NBA. A question, your thumbnail is the Pistons' loss. Oh, shit, is it really? Well, we still got 324 in here. So that shows that we got some real fans if my thumbnail doesn't even make any sense. So I got to fix that once this is up. What we got? Clippers matchup is also tough with Sixers only having one center. Facts. Come from behind is an identity that you have when growing a young team, learning to win. Yeah, and I think I wanted to say, too, Tyrese Maxey scored a lot of points by just being faster than the Clippers, and just sprinting down the floor before they could get set and getting buckets that way because the Clippers are slow. But then whenever they were set and we had to run a half-court offense, it didn't look great. But Maxey took advantage a lot off of being fast. Would you trade Paul George for MPJ? Why? Both are bad contracts. Why would I trade a bad contract for another bad contract? Nah, Michael Porter Jr. doesn't give you anything that Paul George doesn't give you. What Michael Porter Jr. is just a worse version of Paul George. No thanks. Both teams have key players missing. Facts. What's your take on Paul George game tonight? Yeah, he looks healthy, man. He looks healthy. I went into detail in the beginning of the show, so listen to the show back to hear my takes on Paul George. Who should Philly trade for? It's pretty early to be talking trades, but and you would have to start to hear who's going to be available and things like that. But I am feeling like they're running into an issue since Jared McCain is healthy and basically is a DNP. I do think the Sixers are starting to run into an issue of having too many guards, especially too many small guards. Can you play Maxey and McCain together? I think Nick Nurse is scared to do it. And maybe by the trade deadline, they end up. Yeah, that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out. I didn't even realize that I had the wrong thumbnail up, so we might have cost ourselves some viewers with that. If people saw the Pistons thumbnail and just thought it was an old stream or something, so that's my bad. But the fact that we got over 300 in here live anyway shows how loyal you guys are with coming into these post-game live shows. The positive thing is that we turned the ball over just 9 times, but concern is that we give away many points in first quarters. Facts. Kelly Oubre would have helped tonight. Of course he would have. Kelly Oubre is also injured, just like everybody else on this team. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon, man. I'm out.